Your Grand Island, Hastings, and Kearney local forecast with meteorologist Kit Cloninger.
Well, we did have some snow around the Tri-Cities area and across much of eastern Nebraska earlier today. That has all moved on now into parts of Iowa, but we've left with a little bit of a dusting here in Grand Island, maybe a quarter to a third of an inch. Hastings saw a little bit more on the way of freezing drizzle earlier, so that made things a little bit more slick and tricky here around Adams County. Lincoln also saw some of those flurries go through. Now, like I said, all of that has moved on off into Iowa. Looking at our temperatures around the area, much colder across eastern Nebraska than here in central Nebraska. We've got 19 in Fremont, 16 up in Sioux City, 19 as well in the capital city right now in Lincoln. So a little bit cooler here in Kearney as well at 16 degrees, but 23 for both Grand Island and Hastings. Temperatures tonight are going to be dropping down into the low teens for parts of the state, mid to upper teens for here in the Tri-Cities area. We'll look at those a little bit later, but let's take a look at the next few days on the 3-day forecast. We've got 30s over the next 2 days, and then another cold front comes through. We're going to have a couple waves of cold fronts, in fact, over the next few days. So we'll see those lows in the teens and even some 20s as well. But notice here Wednesday night and a Thursday, we've got a cold front that will come through, knock our lows down into the teens and single digits, the low teens here for the Tri-Cities area. And then we've got a snow system coming through. We'll see this on Futurecast in a moment, but this next system, right now, it's still too far to really estimate how much snow we're going to get from it. But this is our next chance of it, and it looks like it will be a more significant system than what we saw today. After that, temperatures come up to the 30s and then back down into the 20s, and we sort of have these waves of cold air coming in as we progressed into the end of January. Looking on the 12-hour loop here for satellite and radar, we do see that last little bit of snow move through the Tri-Cities around 2 to 3 o'clock, and then now it's all the way over into Iowa, Minnesota, off into Wisconsin as well. So out of our hair, we don't have to deal with anything until the end of the week. Let's go ahead and look at that on Futurecast though, because tonight, not a whole lot going on. Here we are Monday midday. We've got a few clouds tomorrow, so that's not going to help us warm up very much, but we do have southern winds coming through the area, which will help us get up into the mid-30s for our area. So you saw a little bit of green there in Iowa at the end of the loop there. That is some rain for them, so that's evidence of the warmer temperatures. Tuesday afternoon, a lot of sunshine, but as we head into Wednesday, this is when things start to deteriorate for us. So we've got cold air already in place by this time. Thursday into Friday, we start to look at this, and we see a gradient of those temperatures, colder, below freezing to the north, and above freezing down into Kansas. And I think this is still a wide transition zone, but it sort of conveys the uncertainty that we have right now. We could be seeing a transition from the snow to the sleet, freezing rain, and rain across our area. So it's definitely going to be something that we'll have to keep our eyes on, especially early on Friday morning as you head out the door, depending on where that rain-snow line ends. And then by Friday evening, most of that won't be moving towards the west, or towards the east, out of our hair, but we could be left with a messy situation as we head into the weekend. Lows overnight tonight are going to be getting down into the teens, like I said, so it is going to be a cold night. We could see some pockets of places that are even colder than modeled right now, but looking at the day through tomorrow, it will be getting a little bit nicer. We'll be getting back up into the mid-30s. Right now, average is 35 to 36 degrees across our area, so we're getting closer to average, but of course, down towards the southwest, southeast, like we've been seeing the past few days, Kelsey, we're getting back into the 40s. So I think it's mostly because of the fact that we've got the snow still on the ground here in central Nebraska. That's acting like a freezer for us. And then southwest Nebraska didn't have any snow a couple weeks ago when we had that mess just 2 weekends ago.
How can we forget?
That's keeping us nice and cold.
Well, thanks so much, Kit.